Okay, Commissioners, next on your schedule we have a briefing from Springdale Center, and we have with us Ms. Donna Ratzliff, Executive Director, and her assistant, Ms. Smith.
Mm-hmm. It's just magical, as Commissioner Davis reminds me. We're on time all of a sudden again.
Good
Here
morning.
we go. So thank you very much.
I'll try to keep us on time.
That's right. That's going to be a chore if you can keep us on time. But welcome, and thank you very much for being here today.
We have a brief video, sort of a slide video / slide presentation that's going to go along with my briefing this morning, and Sheba's actually going to kind of control that. It's not just going to play on and on. It's going to have little snippets that pertain to particular things that I'll speak about. And one of the main reasons for that is because I would love to bring all the folks with developmental disabilities that we support and all my wonderful staff, but that would definitely put you off schedule. So we've just brought a few photos and slides for you to see. So I have to remember, sitting here in front of you, I remember this is not a testimony.
It's not testimony at all, but if you, and I know you've done that many times, just for the benefit of the public, would you mind identifying yourself again, please?
Absolutely. I am Donna Retzloff, the Executive Director of Springdale Center, and this is Sheba Smith. She is our Public Relations Coordinator, and very excited to be here this morning. It's actually been a few years since Springdale Center has come before the commissioners, and since it's a new year and there's a new group, we thought it would be an excellent opportunity just to kind of update everybody where Springdale Center is. So my goal this morning is only to take a few minutes of your time to demonstrate the presence and the impact that Springdale Center continues to have on our community, our county, Charles County. First, a very few quick statistics. We support 260 individuals. 145 of those are in our day and supported employment programs with very, very significant needs. There are 1,546 individuals in Charles County on a waiting list for services at centers such as ours. We are a large employer for the county, employing 113 full-time staff and 86 part-time staff. We truly have a presence in terms of employment for people who live and work in the county. And we have approximately 300 volunteers that float in and out of our center and our programs throughout a given year. There's a lot of history that could be told, as with so many good stories, and our story is truly a good one. But I'm going to fast forward from our beginning in 1967 to where we are today in 2015. We're very important. We're vital for the citizens with and without disabilities. And that might surprise you. The with disabilities is given. That's our mission. The without disabilities is how you're going to see as we demonstrate. We tie what we do into the many, many needs of the county for just other citizens within the county. It ties right back into our mission. While our mission is to support individuals with disabilities, I'm going to take a minute to share the many ways we support many areas of need in the community. A community is defined, as you'll see on your screen, as an interacting population of various kinds of individuals in a common location. That's Springdale. Charles County is our common location, and interacting is what we do very, very well.
It's on your little screens.
Do you have it? Yes? Okay. We're a huge part of support in the county. We completed over 60 community projects this year, from feeding over 300 homeless people in the county meals to delivering over 4,000 Meals on Wheels this year. We also delivered over 10,000 pounds of food that were picked up from various food harvest programs and the Wawa program, traveling over 15,000 miles throughout the year, delivering them to our various shelters and places in need. To participating in the food harvest program, United Way projects. We're not only the recipient when volunteers come to volunteer at our center through United Way Day of Caring, we always pick a nonprofit and go help that nonprofit. We have a group of folks that we support, and we take on a project for somebody else. Hooks and hangers. Many of you probably know we have a few resale stores in the county that are very well known. And one of the things that that store does is it allows us to support individuals with significant disabilities and give them the opportunity to work in the community where they might not otherwise have that opportunity. But the other thing that impacts many people in each one of your districts is how we lend a helping hand to them. There are people that are trying to get back on their feet. They need professional clothing for interviews, or they're just really having a hard time. We give away thousands of articles of clothing every single year and household goods for them. Excuse me. One of the things we do unique is that we give them gift certificates. We'd rather they go shop with dignity than having it look like a handout. They truly take a lot of pride when they get that gift certificate, just like anybody else would. It makes their shopping experience a lot more pleasant. Are we stuck?
What is one of our goals when we get together? One of our goals is to build self-confidence and to listen to each other and to give each other encouragement. What is another one of our goals?
All of this, helping a community in need while fulfilling our mission, which is to build confidence and social skills, making friends, and having people with developmental disabilities feeling valued in their community. They love to give back as well. It doesn't get any better than this, right? Or so you might think. But the best is yet to come.
Hi, my name is Brett Rogan. I'm the Vice President of the Action Club, and I'd like to present Linda Margot, who worked so hard for last year as Vice President, and I would like to give her a round of applause for what she's done to help me make this goal. So I want to give her a round of applause.
This young man gives back to his community through the Kiwanis Club, an action club that's been formed under the Kiwanis Club. But what you don't see, what is behind the scenes, is what it actually took him to get to that podium. He has one-to-one supports because he has very, very significant challenges. But we believe in him and we support him. We support his abilities, and we try to lose focus of his disabilities. Because this is what we do at Springdale Center. We focus on people's abilities. We make dreams a reality. This is what we're really about, and that's really the message I want you to have today. The reality of having a purpose, the reality of being respected, and the reality of making choices. It could be as simple as friendships between a couple folks. Inside the center and outside the center. It could be as simple as playing ball. I mean, think about that. That comes very easy for lots of us. It doesn't come easy for the folks that we support. Simple as having fun. But it's not always about fun. Truly not always about fun. It has been more often about determination, compassion, and dedication for the staff and for the individuals we support. It's one of the places that you will find that true team effort every single day. The next short clip you're going to see is of Larry. He had very little use of his limbs. He was nonverbal, on lots of medication, needed total care, and tube fed, which is typical of a number of folks that we support. And you might ask, is there a quality of life for him? What could it possibly be? The answer is yes, and bigger than that is Springdale's responsibility in assuring that quality of life. This is Larry. This was every day for Larry. From the age of 22. We stole him from the nursing home, and we never took him back. Thinking that's how you would ambulate every day, with a very rigid style movement. but he never gave up. It would take him hours to type a memo or a letter, but to him that was an accomplishment. And true patience. The outcome for this gentleman? Well, he went on to do presentations in your local high schools on drunk driving. There are many people throughout the community who know him and know him very well and know his story very well. He was very, very successful until his recent passing. But I have to say, he does have a legacy to leave behind, and I have a copy of Larry's story for you, which has been totally redone since he passed away and added a lot to it. So I really am going to encourage you to take a look at that. We support a large number of citizens in Charles County with some of the most significant disabilities, and I know I keep saying that, but it's hard to imagine unless you come to our facility and see this. Of the 200, over 60 folks are in wheelchairs and have, for the most part, never walked or stood up. They've never looked you directly in the eye. They're looking at everybody looking at the top of their head or bending down to look at them. We're now able to give them this opportunity through our movement and wellness room. Very, very exciting. What's not exciting is the cost of the equipment. The larger piece of equipment you see there is $15,000. You know, anytime it says special needs, the price goes up. And the other smaller pieces of equipment run $4,000 to $5,000. It moves the limbs of people who can't move their limbs.
I can't do it, Sean.
You look like you're doing it to me. Stand on her, girl.
No.
3 staff to try to support her. Most people would just give up out of frustration. Most staff would just give up. They'd look at me as the employer and say, "Are you crazy? You want me to do what?" Not the staff at Springdale Center. The state does not fund this type of program. The state does not fund this type of equipment. Most medical insurances just laugh at you when you put the submittal in for that piece of equipment. But if you can't move and you can't be given the opportunity to move, how happy would you be? We know this is a must. We're very resourceful in funding this program, and we're very, very proud of it. You're going to see the next clip what Perseverance does for Susan. 1, 2, 3. That was on her terms.
1, 2, 3. Sit down, please.
She had total control of that. And she was excited. Huge accomplishment. Then there's Marcia. Marcia stands over 6 feet tall, but what you're going to find is her smile is much larger. Up until 5 or 6 years ago, she had never stood up since she was a teenager from an accident.
I like this tram because it gets me out of my chair and helps circulate my blood, and I just like to walk around.
Susan didn't stop at getting out of the chair. She's determined to walk and to press one step further. We want these huge steps for all, focusing on their abilities and their determination.
There you go.
That took a couple months to get to that point for her. Then we have fun. You'll see us at the ice skating ring in Waldorf. You'll see us at ball fields. You'll see us at concerts. The same place as all of you are is where we are. We are no different. We are the community. We help people find jobs, jobs of choice. And if they don't like the job, they get another job, just like we do. But they're happy, and that's what's important. This gentleman's worked at the mall since the mall was open, since day one. I don't even remember how long ago that is now. It's been a long time. This is one of our buses. We started off with this clip just to show you how happy everybody is. And they love the music, love what they're doing. But as I watched this clip, the very first time I watched this clip, I want you to watch the guy in the far right. You only have like 3 seconds to see it. We didn't know this about him. He has a very significant disability, cannot communicate, but the day we filmed this for this, we learned something new about him. Back right, look quick. Look at the hands. If we'd have continued the clip, he starts this. He either loved the music, he either loved that everybody was singing, the clapping, the people, but we found something he loved. A normal ride on the bus is like this. It was tremendous. But that's what we're about at Springdale Center, figuring those things out for people. Janine learns to cook and clean in one of our residential homes. And for her, she was a pretty quick learner. She learned those tasks very quickly. We have other folks that it takes up to a year, 2 years. We have folks that sometimes don't learn those tasks, and that's what we have the staff at the home for. 24-hour staff if needed. Hooks and hangers, I mentioned briefly. This is where we provide quality training for folks with disabilities, but we're also a service to the community. And quite frankly, it's not just for folks in need. It's for smart shoppers. I mean, wouldn't you rather pay $5.99 for a pair of jeans than $50? It's for a smart shopper. But hooks and hangers is really important to mention because hooks and hangers is a wonderful source of revenue for our agency that helps that movement and wellness room and some of our other projects. It's important to mention here again, we are a nonprofit, but we also know very well we must operate as a business. We must be a sustainable agency. We must be frugal, we must be creative, and we must be resourceful. We must be a good investment for the county and all the businesses who believe in us and who invest in us. As some of you may know, the state rate system does not cover many of the supports you've just seen in these last few minutes. We know we must continue to be resourceful to continue the supports that are important to so many of these vulnerable citizens. We've partnered with the county for over 30 years. Some of you may or may not know that. I've been here 29 of those 30. Kelly, our director of admin, he's in the back. We won't tell how many, but 34, I think, years. So we know what that partnership has been like. And you can take pride, even if you are new, Commissioner, in knowing that you have built such an awesome organization for the folks in Charles County. So I'm going to end with a few testimonials from the people that we actually support, that all of this is truly about.
I'm a good friend and nice person.
I cook spaghetti.
Hey, Jeff, what are you all dressed up for?
Job.
Experiences can change my life.
We're really good neighbors.
We good neighbors.
Too bad I'm not yours.
I am a really good worker, and people learn from me.
I've been given the experience to walk again.
I make my own decisions.
I make my own decisions.
If I need help, I can ask.
Whoever thought that I could ride a bike?
Believe my abilities.
Believe in my abilities.
I love have fun, good like you.
I like to go to the baseball and football games, and my favorite team is the Old Yorks and the West End.
I believe in me. I got my own house. It's beautiful. I can live on my own. I can do it. Yes, I can.
This is one of my many friends here at Springdale. She loves coming here because we work very well together. She supports me and I support her.
Experience changed my life.
My life has been changed.
With the help of a strong community, it can be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Commissioner Davis?
Of course, the person with the worst voice today. Thank you so much for letting us know what you do in our community. It's really important. You know, I met Larry and heard his testimony, and it was pretty awesome. Early in your presentation, you mentioned a huge waiting list. Tell me more about that.
There's a waiting list that is determined by the Department of Developmental Disabilities at the state level. And that list is held at our local health department, through DDA at the health department. Those are individuals who could need the smallest of supports to a full day program, to full residential, to in-home care, to medical appointments, to transportation, multiple of needs that they may have. Right now, with the state of Maryland, the direction it is moving is if an individual is not waivered, it's going to be quite likely they will not get supports or services. That means the state cannot get their federal reimbursement dollars. Other folks, they do not determine to be in crisis yet, meaning they're not homeless, or the age of their caregivers. Their parents may still be young, or whoever their caregiver is, and so they're not able to get those supports. Springdale has started a waiting list for the first time ever in the last 18 months. And that's because we're waiting on the state of Maryland to determine what they're going to do with this rate system. As you see, the folks we support have very significant needs. Our staffing ratio is 1 to 5, and we're funded for 1 to 10. And so if you could imagine changing, feeding, caring for 10 people on your own through the day, that's all you're going to do. It's just going to be custodial care at best. And so, because we do support folks with the most significant needs, to include behavior challenges, we have probably 16, 18 folks right now that we support one-on-one, a staff and them. We do a really good job with it, but it's very difficult to recruit the staff at the wages we're reimbursed and to keep the staff. And so that has a little bit to do with the waiting list as well. So there are some people who are actually approved for those services, but there aren't agencies that can support them as of yet. My guess is the 1,500, I would probably say at least half of those, their needs are going to get increasingly worse. You know, as the parents age, as they age. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
What can we do to help? Anything? What can we do as a board to help y'all? Anything we can do?
Well, I guess during the session, we might be a little late now. I know they're actually, the Senate is voting this morning about putting our 3% rate increase back in. We had a bill passed last year that would, it all came about with the minimum wage being passed. The way the minimum wage affects us is the state of Maryland currently reimburses us 30% over minimum wage, which is $9.82 to pay our workers. And as the minimum wage was going to increase, which we all agreed it should, at the end of that 4.5 years, our skilled workers would be minimum wage workers. To G-tube feed, give all the meds, do all of those things, they would be paid $10.10 and we would be reimbursed $9.82. So we were successful in getting a bill passed that stated there had to be 3.5% put in the DDA budget each year consecutively with the raise in the minimum wage. And with the changing governors. As the governor went out, we got it. It was put in place January 1st like it was supposed to be. And then the 3.5% was, 2% was removed January 7th. And then July 1st, we were due to get the 3.5%, and that was reduced by the new governor to 1.75%. And so the vote today is to try to bring that back up. For us, what the commissioners can do, I think for today, my request, we were asked, what are you asking for? What are you asking for? We weren't coming in like asking, but it's really just to really hold that awareness to know the impact we do have on this community. It's very easy when you don't see it every day. It's also kind of easy, quite frankly, when we just blend in, because that is what it's really about. But what you really need to do is come visit our center. I can tell you over the next 5 years, you will not see those people in the center anymore. The whole idea is community first and employment first, to be able to provide what we're currently doing in a community, not to segregate them to a building. We are probably further ahead than a lot of providers at this point in that we do, as you saw from my numbers, so many projects and events in the community. You won't find us just hanging out in our building. To the extent we can be out, we're out. But in order to employ those people, a lot of them do need the constant supervision even for employment. But for the next 5 years, we have quite a task in front of us, and that is to have everybody to have the opportunity for employment first or community first.
Commissioner Robinson?
From looking at the video clips that you provided, it looks like you really provide two invaluable services, and those are possibilities and hope.
Absolutely.
And it's really, all of us looking at the video clips were smiling as the various people you treat were giving their testimony. And if all you're requesting at this point in time is for us to visit, I think all 5 of us will be there.
Yes, we definitely would like for you to come for a visit. We'd love to show you around and have you meet our folks. It's priceless once you do that.
I hope the vote goes your way today.
And I do have one other request, and that is that you do view Larry's video. I have a copy for each one of you, so you don't have to wait for it to go around.
Thank you.
And you can share it with your family, friends, especially teenagers, young kids, middle school kids.
I have a question about that video. Obviously, having not seen it, would it be something that would be appropriate to be shown on Charles County government television for the citizens to see?
Absolutely. I actually have a meeting with Ms. Hill on Thursday, and we're going to talk about being able to provide this to all the schools because you can hear a pin drop when you show it. And when Larry used to go into the actual schools and they actually saw Larry, it was quite powerful. Marcia's on the video also because Marcia and Larry are a smaller group of individuals that we support that were not born with a developmental disability but experienced trauma through an accident before the age of 21. And so Marcia was a teenager as well. And so she has her story to tell. And so I don't know any of you who know John Lewis, but John Lewis, he helped us put this together. The actual, just putting the whole story together, which you'll see.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, 2 things. One, in terms of getting your story out and raising the awareness. The newspaper is here today. I would certainly hope that they would pick this up and do a story on this on the front page above the fold.
He doesn't make that decision.
One way to, but he does have influence. And so certainly that gets that message out, and anything we can do to continue to do that as well. I think Commissioner Robinson had a good idea there.
If you keep an eye on the paper, you should also see a story very soon where we were one of 6 agencies selected across the state of Maryland for an Employment First initiative. And we actually met with one of the consultants, came in today to start this project through September, which is to help us put a plan together to do this transformation into the community. So we were very excited to be awarded that.
Right. And I think you make a really good point, Don, and that is that we watch the video and we look at your clients. Is that an appropriate?
Individuals.
Individuals, okay. And we look at that, but really, it doesn't. There's, as you said, it's much more to that. I mean, you really impact the families of these individuals as well, and so there's a much larger. It's almost like a ripple effect in terms of the contributions you make, not only to the individuals' lives, but to their families, and then the community as they get out to the community and so forth. And how wonderful that you're getting into the schools and doing something for our young people who can really learn what it means to grow up in community with everybody. So we thank you very much for the work you do, and thank you for coming here today and giving us this presentation.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll look forward to coming your way the next time.
Very
Okay?
good.
Great.
So
Thank
somebody
you.
will call me to schedule that?
I guess you just said that, didn't you? And so
Okay.
someone will. We'll make that happen. However, whatever the best way to do that. It's most convenient for you in terms of what you can accommodate.
Okay.
Yeah, Commissioner Robinson.
So before we move on, would it be appropriate to ask my colleagues if we could have consensus on showing that video on county television? Once we view it and make sure that we're all good with that?
I'm fine.
So at least an assignment that we all view the video.
I would also like to ask that it not be shown until after, I believe it's April 17th,
fine.
because we're doing a showing up at New Life Church for everyone in the community to come. It's kind of going to be the opening night for the videos.
Well,
we don't want it to go straight to video. We'll wait until you have your opening night.
Government moves slowly, so you're safe there.
Okay. And we're a minute late. It's 11:31.
No, you're great. Thank you again very, very much. Thanks so much.